6 into 5.
As soon as we get off.
You don't have to be too careful with that, Bob. Just twist it off and it'll come off.
This is kind of interesting. If you go drop by drop, you're going to see kind of a curdle. You shake it up, it disperses a little bit into a fine, lighter blue. Continue to add drop-wise.
6 into 5. Drop at a time.
Now it's picking up a blue color. And really dark blue. So keep adding, number 6, which is ammonia, if I'm not mistaken. And number 5 is the copper sulfate. Get a little bolder, start adding all the material, and finally let's go full out. But it's interesting to watch how the molecules interact. It's really what's going on to form a new material.
Now, as we're doing this, obviously it's one set of materials per table. So kind of have the kids delete that one. Have the kids, don't use all your water, you're going to need some of that. Have the kids at least show the other one what's going on as they make the colors up, okay?
Okay, now this is a blue, deep blue material. It's called a royal blue. And in fact, the matter, we use one of these color charts here. We can match up.
Yeah, that's the last thing we're going to do.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to the color charts.
Okay, so we're down to our third and final. Again, we're going to use copper sulfate in vial number 5. And 7.
Now we're doing 7 into...
Yep, 7. 7 into 5.
New pipette? Is that a new one? Okay.
Fresh pipette. Okay, again, drop-wise, number 7.
This time we're supposed to be doing 2 mil outputs each time. So give it a 2 mil squirt. 7 into 5.
Either way. All right, I would now stop adding. Bob, I think it's better if we skinny up on the first additions, because you're going to see this is not the deep royal blue. This is more of a violet.
It's like it's cloudy too.
Yeah, if you do it by drops, ours is turning violet at the top and then moving down.
Okay, by
You want to start and
Yeah.
not give it a big slug. You want to give it a small amount, and you're going to get that violet color. Very pretty color.
There you go.
Okay. Now we've made 2 kinds of blue, violet or blue. Let's take a look at these color charts. See if we can put some names together with these things. Okay.
This is what paint chemists do, obviously. They come up with these colors, and then at home, what we do is we try to match up the colors that we like, and we use the color chips to do that. So what kind of colors have we made according to the color chips? What matches the best?
Do we in fact get a
Start with the
match?
red one.
Start with the red one. Get the red.
What matches the best?
Get the red.
Positive red? Might not be a perfect match, but it's close, huh?
You know, I added all that extra water to mine because I put the whole pipette in there at once. And so then if you tip it a little bit so that you're not getting the full-on solution, then back here you can see that it does really match. I think it looks like positive red.
Good. So we made some positive red color. I wouldn't call it paint, but I'd call it a color. How about positively? How about the white? What's the white match?
I actually think snowbound.
Don't say that word yet, completely.
Yeah, kind of dirty. Dirty white.
Dirty white.
So what's the consensus? Snowbound for the white?
Snowbound.
Yeah, snowbound's not a bad match.
Terrible term for Cleveland. Especially the east side where we are.
No, you switched them.
Okay, let's
How
take
about the
a,
blues? We
let's
got
look
two
at the
different
blues.
What are the blues matching up to?
Well, the purple doesn't match.
No, the purple doesn't. You're right.
Because we changed it to purple.
Hmm?
We changed the blue to purple.
You did, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're not gonna do too much with the purple then, but how about the other blue?
Well, we don't have it anymore.
Oh, you changed the whole thing.
You had 2 by 5. Oh, here's another 5. We didn't see that.
Jade blue, but
Oh,
the bottom,
just
I
that
think
high.
it's still looking violet. I wonder if I can
Yeah,
tamp
there's
it.
2 vials with 5, so you should get 2 different blue colors.
This one's more purple.
We put 7 and 7.
Pretty cool, huh?
Oh, wait, no, that's the
Sure
purple.
names, that's for Dorothy.
We want 6, so don't use that one.
Yeah, use 6 and 5. Okay, what are we getting for the blue, guys? Blue plates?
Yeah, I think blue plate's a good one
For the first one.
for the first one.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have a match for the second one where
We need
it
like
turned violet.
violet.
We don't have enough paint chips. Of course, we rubbed out several stores to get these, you know.
That one's called
So
So-
review what we did. Vince, let's go back through these. For the first one, for the red color, should we have put in the entire volume of the pipette, or just drop by drop?
I think we should go drop by drop.
Drop by drop, and maybe not use the entire 3 mils in that pipette.
Yeah,
About how much should we use?
maybe 2 or 3 drops.
2 or 3 drops and that's it?
Till it turns red.
till it turns,
Till it turns red,
and you
okay.
see no further
Okay.
progression.
You guys on YouTube, it's when it turns red, but drop by drop. Don't just dump the 2 containers together. And the white,
All of it. You know
That
what?
we
use
can-
all of it.
That we can go with a big slug.
To watch the drops, because you can see the precipitate.
Okay,
Yeah.
then drop by drop until all of it is used. Drop by drop until
Well, I
all
mean,
of it
after
is
you
used.
get the idea of the precipitate, you can pour it in, but I thought it was kind of neat to see that form
Okay.
on the top.
You can tell the kids that it's the white color forming as the precipitate starts to form. Just say the white color is forming. Okay? So it's drop by drop with the white, and when you see the white start to form and it gets fully formed, then drop the entire 10 mil vial in. Okay? And the last one with the 2 different blues, what the first blue was the household ammonia, right?
Ammonia, and then the second one
Was MEA.
was monoethanolamine.
Yes.
It's a long name, but MEA for short.
Okay. What kind of volumes did we want with the first one? We want to squirt a whole pipette in?
With the MEA, we want to go,
Well, that's the second one.
okay, with the
first one
first
was
one,
ammonia.
I think drop by drop.
Drop by drop.
See a dramatic
Okay.
effect of swirling.
But using
that-
the full pipette eventually.
Well, I think across the board, if you have them do drop by drop, and then if they want to put the whole thing in at the end, once the colors have developed, that's fine.
Except for the red.
Well, the red okay,
'Cause
drop
it
by
turns-
drop.
It turns like black after.
Okay, so just a few drops with the red, the first one.
But the rest of them you could.
The rest of them, drop by drop, and then if they want to pour the whole thing in, they can do that.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, that is experiment number 5. Now, we're supposed to complete at this point, if you go back to your chart here, your sequence of events, we're supposed to complete part 1 of experiment 6. And Vince, you're on again for experiment number 6. Everybody has 2 pieces of round filter paper and 2 pieces of wax paper at their place and a paper towel. If you would please put the 2 pieces of round paper on top of the 2 pieces of wax paper. And you've got some pipettes there, at least 2 clean pipettes someplace you're supposed to have. Maybe we'll have to pass those around. We're going to have to pass those around. So there's 2 clean pipettes at the front of the table and 2 little vials. The one vial is marked either B or Y or something else, and the second one is marked M. Okay? We're going to start with the first one. Here on this.
In the first one, we're going to take one color of a dye, and we're going to see how, when it's applied to a medium of separation, in this case, just an ordinary piece of filter paper, and we're going to watch how it moves on the piece of paper, on the piece of filter paper.
So just a couple drops right in the middle and.
Okay, let's take, in my case, I got a B, bottle B.
I think they're all B's in this particular kit.
Okay, I'm going to add 1 drop to the center of the first filter paper.
Take a pipette and pass it around along with the vial marked B or Y or G, I think. Whatever one you have in your kit. The one other than the one marked M. You have 2 10ml vials marked M and something else.
Okay, as you can see, it starts to spread out immediately.
We're starting with the one marked M. One
No, B.
not
B.
marked M.
B,
In this case, it's B.
okay? If we want to see a much better effect, we can add a second drop, but no more.
Okay,
Right
pass that down.
in the middle.
1 drop in the middle of the first piece of filter paper. Okay, now we're going to the second vial. And use the second clean pipette. The vial marked M. Do the same thing, 1 or 2 drops in the center of the filter paper with the vial marked M. These are nothing more than food colors, folks. The first one is a single color by itself. I think in this case we have blue in this particular kit. The vials were marked B, right? The second one is a mixture of 3 or 4 colors. That's what the M stands for.
Mix.
Equal mix of red, yellow, and blue.
Red, yellow, and blue. Well, we see green.
Okay, we're going to let this spread a little bit, and we're going to add a second drop.
And let
Let's
them
pick
dry
it
a
up,
little bit. You
wave
might
it
even
around.
want to pick the pieces of filter paper up and wave them in the air to try to get them to dry a little bit. And then we're going to need to get a third pipette, a third clean pipette. There's still a cups of water running around. We're now going to get the third clean pipette and put 4 drops of water onto the colored drops. So who's got another clean pipette? 4 drops of water right on the middle of the colored drop on each one of the 2 pieces of filter paper. 2 pieces of filter paper, 2 different samples of dye, each one 4 drops of water onto the top of the drop that's there, the colored drop. Okay? Pass that, the pipette and the water down to the next person. And we're going to, once you've got the water dropped onto the colored spot, 4 drops of water, we're going to leave that, and if you refer to your sequence of events here, which again, in your script is page 16, it says that we're supposed to go back to, that's step number 7, complete part 2 of experiment 1.
Okay, folks, now's the big unroll.
It looks too like where it's a little better if
Are we
you
unrolling them?
put a drop on, let it
Let's
sit.
let everybody get on the same page here.
Okay?
Okay.
Bob's saying that before we go any further, with the many colors from 1, the last thing with the round filter papers, Bob is saying it works a little bit better if you don't just add 4 drops of water, bang, 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 bang. Add a drop, let it sit for a second, add a second drop, let it sit for a second. Okay? And obviously we're dealing with paper chromatography here, and we're going to get color separation but we're going to let it sit, and we're going to now refer back to the sequence of events. That's what this is here for, because otherwise all these steps get a little confusing. But step number 7 says, return to part 2 of experiment 1.
Okay, this is our piece of chalk. Should be pretty much solidified. Let's just simply unroll the piece of paper, and you'll see good quality mimeograph or Xerox paper. There's no stickiness. So we're going to leave this piece of chalk on the table and hopefully absorb enough energy from the lights, and we're going to shut the lights off later at the end of the program and see if we can pick up a glow in the dark.
Okay guys, what Vince just said was we're now going to let that chalk continue to dry. We're going to let it sit for a little bit, and we're going to let it pick up some photons, okay? And hopefully between now and the end of the session, it will have picked up enough photons to glow. Alrighty.
Well, one thing.
Yes, sir.
Remember we had the white precipitate.
Yes, sir.
Forget where it is.
Right there.
Okay, this is actually the same material as this.
Similar.
Similar, okay? So you might want to point out that chemistry goes around in circles,
Okay.
right?
We're going back now to the dye experiment.
No.
What I'd like, everybody got that
Oh,
done,
we didn't
the
do
round filter paper? We're going back to the dye experiment now. And what we want to do is, you should have several paper towels on the table, clean paper towels. I want persons 1 to 4, remember your numbers, to get each one to get a paper towel. Not yet, not that yet. Not the piece of paper yet. But person number 1, please come up here with a paper towel. And now you can all see clearly that I'm wearing my gloves. And the idea is to lay these strips of fabric on the paper towel and ask the students to hold the paper towel by the corners. And since I'm wearing my gloves, this will not stain my hand. Student number 2 from each table, please. I'm going to use the fork from number 2. And we're going to lay that down on your paper. And if you would continue to holding that by the corners, and take it back and lay it down on your table in front of you. It's a good thing I'm wearing those plastic gloves or my hands will be getting stained. Student number 3 from each table. I think there's something in here. Oops, you got it folded. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Okay. Yeah, tell them to leave their paper towels unfolded and lengthwise. Yeah. There we go. And there should be one more here for you, Carol. There we go.
All right.
There's one more in here someplace.
There you go.
Okie doke. And student number 4 from each table. Okay, now student number 5 at each table. Please take the die rating form. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and your pencil, and start down the row with students 1 to 4, and each student needs to look at their piece of fabric starting from the left. The left is where that black line is on the fabric. Okay?
Turn it this way then.
Starting from the left,
So you're-
Goes across like this.
starting from the left, you're gonna go across to the right, and there's 13 individual little pieces of fabric in there. So what you're going to do is, you're going to take, and you're going to tell student number 5 with the die rating form whether or not each of those 13 fabrics accepted the die. The student number 5 put a Y in the box, starting on the top row, okay? Starting on the top row at the fabric marked acetate, that's the one on the far left. Go across and put a Y wherever there was something that was dyed nicely by the fabric, by the dye.
Do we have all 4 pieces here?
No, he only gave us 3.
No, the 4 pieces over there.
Oh.
On that table.
Because
otherwise we could line them up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, put a Y if it was dyed in that box, and leave it blank if it wasn't dyed.
Sure, sorry, we were just gonna,
Come on over.
that's the original I was showing her, so we can see if it changed colors.
So that, I think that's the first,
That's 1.
Yeah, we're two.
2, then 3, and then 4. There you go.
So,
Green.
See, these ones, those ones came out Dutch colors, didn't they?
How old is she?
She'll be 6 in December.
I used to bring mine when they were 6. They were that young. They would come, yeah.
version.
Yeah, we did this last year. I assisted and she came with us and she enjoyed it, so she's gonna help out a little bit.
Mine, come to helping out since they were about 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been coming since they were about 6.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Just about done?
Might want to take a look at the chart, close up on the chart.
I did.
The completed chart?
70, it's a small one.
All set, Vince?
Just a minute. 10. And the last 2, very good.
They were dark. Some were darker than others. It looks like the ones that dyed
Okay.
the darkest were the ones that dyed.
Okay. Mike, did you get a copy of the chart?
Yep.
All right. In the script, folks, on page 23, there's a copy of that same die rating form with the results that we on the committee got. Okay? Hopefully the results that the kids are going to get are going to be similar to what's on page 23 of your script. And there's several questions in there that you can ask the kids if there was enough time. Okay, question number 1. Which of the dyes was most effective? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 4. Across the board. Number 4 has the vinegar in it. Which one was the most effective across the board?
Yeah, the bottom one, written